Hello students, Jinali Shah welcomes you all on behalf of Saraswat International Academy. Today we will begin with the last part of the chapter Biomolecules. Students, in the previous lectures we were studying regarding the enzymes. Few topics related to enzymes were remaining, so let us continue with the enzymes. So first of all, today we will study regarding the properties of enzyme. Now basically we know that all enzymes except the few enzymes, they act as the nucleic acid. Otherwise all the enzymes are protein in nature. The exceptions are few enzymes called as ribozymes, where nucleic acid is acting as an enzyme. So each enzyme has all the properties related to proteins. What is the chemical nature of enzyme? It is protein. So whatever property is possessed by protein, all those properties will be possessed by enzymes too. Each enzyme is a macromolecule formed of the sequential chain of number of amino acids, and all amino acids in this chain are linked by peptide bond. So what is the chemical nature of enzymes? They are protein. Now what is basically protein made up of? So protein is a chain of amino acids, and in that chain all the amino acid molecules are linked by which bond? Peptide bond. Enzymes are specific in their function. That is, each enzyme has an effect on particular reaction only. An enzyme effective for one reaction is not useful for the other reaction. That is, they are specific in function. एक एंजाइम एक पर्टिकुलर सबस्ट्रेट पे वर्क करती है, एक पर्टिकुलर रिएक्शन पे वर्क करती है, वो एंजाइम दूसरे रिएक्शन या दूसरे सबस्ट्रेट पे वर्क नहीं करेगी. सो दे आर स्पेसिफिक इन देयर फंक्शन. An enzyme effective for one chemical reaction will not be effective for the other chemical reaction. Example, lipase is an enzyme which can digest lipids only. It cannot digest any other component. Another example is sucrase. It can digest sucrose only. It cannot digest any other component. So they are specific in their functions. Enzymes are amphoteric in nature. Ampho, it means two. That is, they behave as acid as well as base. Why? So, enzymes are amphoteric in nature because in their structure, one terminal carries a reactive alkaline, that is NH2 group, and the other terminal carries a reactive acidic carboxyl group, that is COH group. What is the chemical nature of enzyme? They are protein. अभी प्रोटीन का स्ट्रक्चर हमने जब स्टडी किया था तो वन end of the chain is the N terminal where there is a free NH2 group which is reactive, and another one at the other end is the free COH group, again that COH group is reactive. So basically, as it possesses free NH2 and COH group, they are called as amphoteric in nature. Effect of most of the enzymes is unidirectional. That is, they can convert substrate into product. So most of the enzymes are unidirectional. They convert substrate into product. That is, they convert substrate into product but not the product into substrate. Product को substrate में convert नहीं करेगा. However, the effect of some enzymes are bidirectional. There are few enzymes which are bidirectional. Bidirectional यानी they show the property of reversibility. There are some enzymes which can convert substrate into product as well as again the product into substrate. Most of the enzymes are unidirectional, that is converting the substrate into product, but there are few enzymes, very few enzymes which possess the property of reversibility. It means they convert substrate into product as well as can convert the product into substrate. Each enzyme is functional within a specific temperature range. So enzymes, they work in the specific temperature range. At the temperature that temperature at which the enzymes are effective, that is called as the optimum temperature. At the later part of the topic we will study that also. So जो temperature पे enzyme अपनी maximum activity दिखाती है, that is called as optimum temperature. If the temperature increases or decreases beyond the optimum temperature, the enzyme won't work. That is, at the high temperatures enzymes are denatured यानी destroyed. While at low temperatures they become inactive but they are not destroyed. अगर optimum temperature से temperature increase हुआ, then the enzymes are denatured means they are destroyed. And if the temperature is beyond, or basically if it decreases beyond the optimum temperature, then those enzymes are becoming inactive. वो denature नहीं होगे, वो destroy नहीं होगे, but they become inactive. Each enzyme is active at specific pH. That's जैसे वो particular temperature range में work करते हैं, same way the enzymes they work at the particular pH. Some enzymes are active in acidic medium, some are active in alkaline medium. So these are some of the properties of enzymes. So let us study now new topic, that is factors affecting the enzyme activity. What affects the enzymic reaction? The activity of an enzyme can be affected by the change in conditions which can alter the tertiary structure of the protein. So the activity of the enzyme, it is changed if its tertiary structure is changed. If the tertiary structure of the protein, if the tertiary structure of the enzyme changes, then there will be the change in, or there will be the effect in the activity of the enzyme. Now what are the factors which can change that tertiary structure? So those factors which affect the enzymatic reactions, they are temperature, pH, change in substrate concentration, and binding of the specific chemicals that regulates its activity. So temperature, pH, substrate concentration and binding of some specific chemicals, all these factors they affect the enzymic activity. Clear? Now let us study first of all the effect of temperature and pH. Enzymes are generally functioning in a narrow range of temperature and pH. They work at the narrow range of temperature and pH. See students, in this diagram it is given, ये एक particular range है, that is effect of the enzyme, this is enzymatic activity and this is effect of temperature and this is the effect of the pH. तो आप देख सकते हो कि दे आर वर्किंग एक पर्टिकुलर नैरो रेंज में ही उन लोग काम कर रहे हैं. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द ऑप्टिमम पीएच. ये रेंज में उन लोग वर्क करेंगे. ये रेंज से रेंज डिक्रीज हुई या इंक्रीज हुई, द एंजाइमिक एक्टिविटी विल बी अफेक्टेड. ईच एंजाइम शोज इट्स हाइएस्ट एक्टिविटी एट अ पर्टिकुलर टेम्परेचर एंड पीएच, and that is called as the optimum temperature and optimum pH. So what is optimum temperature? The temperature at which the enzyme shows its highest activity, it is called as optimum temperature, and the pH at which the enzyme shows its highest activity, it is called as optimum pH. Activity declines both below and above the optimum value. अगर ऑप्टिमम वैल्यू से टेम्परेचर एंड पीएच इंक्रीज हुआ या टेम्परेचर एंड पीएच डिक्रीज हुआ, इन बोथ द कंडीशंस द एक्टिविटी ऑफ द एंजाइम विल बी रिड्यूस्ड, इट विल डिक्लाइन. लो टेम्परेचर प्रिजर्व्स द एंजाइम in a temporary inactive state, whereas high temperature destroys the enzymatic activity because proteins are denatured by heat. What is it said? कि if the temperature reduces below the optimum temperature, that is at low temperature, enzyme inactive हो जाएगी, लेकिन temporarily enzyme will become inactive. But at the higher temperature, the activity will be totally destroyed because at higher temperature the proteins are denatured by heat. This is another graph given, that is a temperature against the rate of reaction. This is the optimum temperature where the enzymatic activity is highest. Now, if the temperature is below the optimum temperature, then it is too cold for enzyme to operate, which means the enzyme will become inactive. What will happen in this condition? The enzymes are inactive. Whereas at the temperature higher, this indicates the higher temperature than the optimum temperature, then it will be the rapid denaturation at the higher temperature. So that temperature at which the enzyme shows the maximum effect is called as the optimum temperature. Now next is the concentration of the substrate. With the increase in the substrate concentration, the velocity of the enzymatic reaction rises at first. यानी substrate का concentration increase करेंगे तो rate of reaction, or you can say the velocity of the reaction, it will increase initially. Initially, by increasing this amount of the substrate, the velocity of the reaction will also increase. The reaction then ultimately reaches the maximum velocity. After that what will happen? आप concentration increase करते जाओगे, then a time will come कि reaction maximum velocity पे पहुँच गया होगा, which is not exceeded by any further rise in the concentration of substrate. एक time आएगा कि जहाँ पे the reaction reaches the maximum velocity. At that time, if you keep on increasing the substrate concentration, then also there won't be increase any further rise in the rate of the velocity. This is because enzyme molecules are fewer than the substrate molecules, and after the saturation of these molecules, there are no free enzyme molecules to bind with the additional substrate molecule. ऐसा क्यों होता है कि जब वेलोसिटी मैक्सिमम हो जाती है तो फर्दर सबस्ट्रेट को इंक्रीज करेंगे, फिर भी रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन इंक्रीज नहीं होने वाला है. क्यों? रीज़न क्यों है? नाउ अ कंडीशन हैज़ अकर्ड कि एंजाइम मॉलिक्यूल्स आर फ्यूअर एंड द सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल्स आर मोर. नाउ ये जो अभी एंजाइम मॉलिक्यूल, ऑल द एंजाइम्स, जितने भी एंजाइम्स है उन्होंने किसके साथ बाइंड कर लिया है? सबस्ट्रेट के साथ. अभी जो भी एक्स्ट्रा सबस्ट्रेट है उनके साथ कोई भी एंजाइम मॉलिक्यूल फ्री नहीं है बाइंड करने के लिए, एंड हेंस अप टू पर्टिकुलर लिमिट increase in the substrate will increase the velocity, but beyond that, after saturation level, what is saturation level? It is a point where all the enzyme molecules are bound to the substrate, hence their additional substrate cannot bind to the enzyme because no free enzyme is available. Clear? Now यहाँ पे दो terminology है, one is Vmax and Km. See student, what is Vmax and Vmax upon 2? Vmax is what? It is the rate of the reaction, or you can say it is the maximum velocity, right? And Vmax upon 2 is the rate at which it is that Km, and another one is Vmax upon 2. अभी ये दोनों क्या है? We will see that. Students, in an enzymatic reaction, the rate of reaction is dependent on the substrate concentration. At low substrate concentration, the rate of the reaction, that is V, is proportional to the substrate concentration. So basically, initially, the substrate concentration is proportional to the rate of reaction. That is, substrate concentration increase होता जाएगा तो rate of reaction also increases. However, as the substrate concentration is increased, the velocity of the reaction falls off and is no longer proportional to the concentration. With the further increase in substrate concentration, the rate of reaction becomes constant. क्या होगा? एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे जब सेचुरेशन हो जाएगा एट दैट टाइम आप कितने भी सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल्स को इंक्रीज करते जाओ, इनिशियली ये दोनों प्रोपोर्शनल है, यानी अगर सबस्ट्रेट का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन इंक्रीज होगा रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन भी इंक्रीज होगा. But after saturation, the rate of reaction becomes constant. What is saturation? It is a condition where all the enzymes are already bound to substrate. Now, if we keep on increasing or if we keep on adding substrate, but there are no free enzymes, so ये time पे rate of reaction क्या होता जाएगा? Constant ही रहेगा. The enzyme at this state shows maximum saturation effect, that is it is saturated with the enzyme. So what is Km? It is equal to the substrate concentration at which the velocity of the reaction attains half its maximum velocity. What is Km? It is called as the Michaelis-Menten constant. Km is called as the Michaelis-Menten constant. Now what is it? The Km is the substrate concentration. It is the substrate concentration at which the rate of reaction, or you can say velocity of the reaction, attains half the maximum velocity. At what level of substrate the velocity of the reaction is half of the total maximum velocity? What is it called as? It is called as the Km. So Km is the substrate concentration at which the velocity of the reaction attains half its maximum velocity. The value of the Michaelis-Menten constant is inversely proportional to the enzyme activity. Km, it is inversely proportional to the enzyme activity. What does it mean? What does it indicate? A large value of Km means that high substrate concentration is needed to get half velocity of the maximum rate of reaction. Agar Km value is more, what does it indicate? It indicates that there is the requirement of high substrate. सबस्ट्रेट का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन और सबस्ट्रेट का अमाउंट बहुत ज़्यादा चाहिए टू गेट द हाफ वेलोसिटी. Indirectly, it means that the enzyme has lower affinity for the substrate. See, ग्राफ से मैं समझाती हूँ. This is the substrate concentration, this is the rate of the reaction और velocity. So यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट है कि ये सबस्ट्रेट लेवल पे मैक्सिमम वेलोसिटी इज देयर. अभी दिस इज द मैक्सिमम वेलोसिटी, दिस इज हाफ द वेलोसिटी, हाफ ऑफ द मैक्सिमम वेलोसिटी. सो व्हाट इज Km? सो दिस इज Km, ये सबस्ट्रेट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन. कितना सबस्ट्रेट चाहिए टू गेट द half of the maximum velocity? What is it called as? It is called as the Km. Now next factor affecting is binding of the specific chemicals. There are certain chemicals which affect the enzymic activity or enzymatic activity. The activity of an enzyme is also sensitive to the presence of the specific chemicals that bind to the enzyme. So which chemicals bind to the enzyme, that will also decide the enzymatic activity. When binding of a chemical shuts off the enzyme activity, यानी कोई ऐसा केमिकल एंजाइम के साथ अटैच हो जाता है, बाइंड हो जाता है, जो एंजाइम की एक्टिविटी को बंद कर देता है. बाइंडिंग ऑफ द केमिकल विच स्टॉप्स द एंजाइम, बाइंडिंग ऑफ एनी केमिकल विच स्टॉप्स द एंजाइमेटिक एक्टिविटी, दैट प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज इनहिबिशन. एंड ये जो केमिकल है जिसने इनहिबिशन किया, जिसने एंजाइमेटिक एक्टिविटी स्टॉप कर दी, दैट केमिकल इज कॉल्ड एज एन इनहिबिटर. सो व्हेन अ बाइंडिंग ऑफ द केमिकल शट्स ऑफ और स्टॉप्स द एंजाइमेटिक एक्टिविटी, इट इज कॉल्ड एज इनहिबिशन एंड द केमिकल रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इट इज कॉल्ड एज एन इनहिबिटर. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, मेनली देयर आर two types of inhibitors. One is competitive inhibitors and another one is non-competitive inhibitors. How many types of inhibitors are there? Two types: competitive inhibitors and non-competitive inhibitors. So first of all, what are competitive inhibitors? When the inhibitor closely resembles the substrate in its molecular structure and inhibit the activity of the enzyme, it is called as competitive inhibitor. See, listen very carefully. ऐसा कोई केमिकल है जो जिसका मॉलिक्यूलर स्ट्रक्चर रिजेंबल करता है सबस्ट्रेट के साथ. When the structure of the inhibitor closely resembles to the structure of the substrate, then and that particular inhibitor, it inactivates or it inhibits the activity of the enzyme, then such competitor is called as the competitive inhibitor. Competitive यानी compete करता है, competition करता है. वो जो इनहिबिटर है एंड अपना जो सबस्ट्रेट है, ये दोनों के स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है, सिमिलर है. सो नॉर्मली अभी क्या होगा, इंस्टेड ऑफ सबस्ट्रेट बाइंडिंग टू द एक्टिव साइट ऑफ एंजाइम, कौन बाइंड करेगा एक्टिव साइट पे, इनहिबिटर. सो इनहिबिटर इज बाइंडिंग टू द एक्टिव साइट ऑफ द एंजाइम. व्हाट इज एक्टिव साइट ऑफ द एंजाइम? इट इज द साइट वेयर द सबस्ट्रेट बाइंड्स विद द एंजाइम, राइट. So, competitive inhibitor competes with the substrate to bind at the active site of enzyme. And ये competition में कौन जीतता है, inhibitor. It means it is the inhibitor which is binding to the active site of enzyme. So, instead of enzyme substrate complex, what is formed? Enzyme inhibitor complex is formed, and this enzyme inhibitor complex does not result into the activity of the enzyme. Due to its close structural similarity with substrate, the inhibitor competes with the substrate for substrate binding site. What is substrate binding site of enzyme called as? It is called as active site, forming the enzyme inhibitor complex. क्या बनेगा? Instead of formation of enzyme substrate complex, enzyme inhibitor complex is formed, and this enzyme inhibitor complex does not result into the activity of the enzyme. Consequently, the substrate cannot bind, and as a result, the enzyme action declines. Example is given: inhibition of succinic dehydrogenase by malonate, which closely resembles the substrate succinate in the structure. अभी एंजाइम का नाम है सक्सिनिक डिहाइड्रोजिनेस. ये सक्सिनिक डिहाइड्रोजिनेस किसके ऊपर वर्क करता है, सक्सिनेट, और यू कैन से इट वर्क्स ऑन सक्सिनिक एसिड. अभी सक्सिनेट का स्ट्रक्चर किसके जैसा है, इट रिजेंबल्स मेलोनेट. नॉर्मली सक्सिनिक डिहाइड्रोजिनेस के साथ किसको बाइंड होना चाहिए, सक्सिनेट. बट मेलोनेट के प्रेजेंस में क्या होता है, मेलोनेट बाइंड्स टू द सक्सिनिक डिहाइड्रोजिनेस इंस्टेड ऑफ सक्सिनेट. क्यों? सक्सिनेट और मेलोनेट का स्ट्रक्चर सिमिलर है. Such competitive inhibitors are used in the control of the bacterial pathogens. Now next one is non-competitive inhibitors. Non-competitive यानी competition नहीं करेंगे, यानी कि inhibitor और enzyme की active substrate का site, substrate और inhibitor का जो structure है वो similar नहीं है. So क्या होता है, what are these non-competitive inhibitors? यानी there won't be the competition between the inhibitor and the substrate for the substrate binding site. They are the substance which do not resemble the substrate in structure. The non-competitive inhibitor binds to the enzyme at some other site than the substrate binding site and no product is formed. नॉर्मली एंजाइम में सबस्ट्रेट बाइंडिंग साइट तो होते हैं, बट ऐसे बहुत सारे पॉकेट्स होते हैं. व्हाट इज एंजाइम? प्रोटीन. प्रोटीन इज फॉर्म बाय फोल्डिंग. फोल्डिंग की वजह से बहुत सारे क्रिवाइसिस, क्लेफ्ट बोलो, पॉकेट्स बोलो, ये एंजाइम में बन जाते हैं. उसमें से मेन पॉकेट कौन सा है, एक्टिव साइट के, जहाँ पे सबस्ट्रेट बाइंड करता है. नॉन कॉम्पिटिटिव इनहिबिटर जो है वो एक्टिव साइट पे बाइंड नहीं करेगा, वो एंजाइम को कोई दूसरी जगह के साथ बाइंड कर देगा. एज दिस इनहिबिटर बाइंड्स टू द एंजाइम at some other site, there will be the change in the shape of the enzyme. इनहिबिटर के बाइंड करने की वजह से एंजाइम के स्ट्रक्चर में क्या आता है, चेंज आता है. एंजाइम के स्ट्रक्चर में चेंज आता है, उसकी वजह से व्हाट हैपन्स, एक्टिव साइट का स्ट्रक्चर भी चेंज हो जाएगा, जिसकी वजह से द प्रोडक्ट वोंट बी फॉर्म. This either blocks the attachment of the substrate to active site or change the shape so that it is unable to accept the substrate. क्या होता है, एक्टिव साइट खाली ही है, बट इनहिबिटर ने दूसरे कोई रीजन पे एंजाइम के साथ बाइंड किया है. Due to the binding of the enzyme at some other site, there is the change in the shape of the enzyme. एंजाइम के शेप में चेंज आया, इसका मीनिंग ये हुआ कि एंजाइम का एक्टिव साइट है वहाँ पे भी चेंज आया, विच इंडिकेट्स दैट एज द शेप ऑफ द एंजाइम इज अल्टर्ड, नाउ द सबस्ट्रेट कैन नॉट बाइंड टू द एक्टिव साइट ऑफ एन एंजाइम and hence no product will be formed. Cyanide inhibits the mitochondrial enzymes cytochrome oxidase, which is essential for the cellular respiration, which kills the animals. अभी साइनाइड है, वो साइटोक्रोम ऑक्सीडेज के साथ बाइंड करेगा. साइटोक्रोम ऑक्सीडेज के साथ बाइंड करेगा तो साइटोक्रोम ऑक्सीडेज का स्ट्रक्चर चेंज हो जाएगा, एंड उसका स्ट्रक्चर चेंज होगा, इसीलिए ये रिएक्शंस पॉसिबल नहीं होंगे. एंड एज इट इज़ द एंजाइम इन्वॉल्व्ड इन रेस्पिरेशन, द पर्सन गेट्स किल्ड, एनिमल्स गेट किल्ड. See, this is the effect of the inhibitors. This is the competitive inhibition, this is non-competitive inhibition. It is the competitive inhibitor interferes with the active site of, ये एंजाइम की एक्टिव साइट है, एंड ये कॉम्पिटिटिव इनहिबिटर है, वो इंटरफियर करता है किसके साथ, एक्टिव साइट के साथ. सो द सबस्ट्रेट नाउ इज अनेबल टू बाइंड. वेर एज नॉन कॉम्पिटिटिव इनहिबिटर, ये एंजाइम के एक्टिव साइट पे, दिस इज द एक्टिव साइट, राइट, दिस इज द एक्टिव साइट, लेकिन ये नॉन कॉम्पिटिटर इनहिबिटर ने दूसरे साइट पे बाइंड किया है, जिसकी वजह से ये एंजाइम का देखो ये शेप चेंज हो गया है. ये शेप चेंज हुआ है तो सबस्ट्रेट कैन नॉट बाइंड, so it cannot bind to the substrate. So this is non-competitive inhibition. Now classification and nomenclature of enzymes. Thousands of enzymes have been discovered, isolated and studied. Most of these enzymes have been classified into different groups on the type of the reactions they catalyze. There are thousands of enzymes and ये सब enzyme की activity मेनली उसका जो क्लासिफिकेशन हुआ है, इट इज़ डन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द टाइप ऑफ द रिएक्शन कैटेलाइज्ड बाय देम. कौन से रिएक्शंस वो करते हैं, ऑन दैट बेसिस दे आर क्लासिफाइड. एंजाइम्स आर डिवाइडेड इनटू 6 क्लासेस विद 4 to 13 सब क्लासेस एंड नेम्ड बाय अकॉर्डिंगली बाय अ 4-digit नंबर. उनका सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द टाइप ऑफ रिएक्शन कैटेलाइज्ड बाय देम, there are 6 classes of enzyme, and each of the 6 classes is further divided into 4 to 13 subclasses, and they are given name by a 4-digit number. So which are the different types of the enzymes? So first is oxidoreductase enzyme, which are also called as the dehydrogenases. So enzymes which catalyze the oxidation reduction reaction between the two substrates S and S dash, it is called as oxidoreductase. यानी जो एंजाइम ऑक्सीडो रिडक्शन और यू कैन से ऑक्सीडेशन रिडक्शन रिएक्शंस करते हैं, those enzymes which are involved in oxidation reduction reaction between two substrate, it is called as the oxidoreductase. देखो यहाँ पे one substrate is S, which is in a reduced form. Another substrate is S dash, which is in the oxidized form. So there are how many substrate? 2 substrate, S and S dash. S is in reduced form, S dash is in oxidized form. So क्या होता है, अभी S जो है वो क्या करता है, बेसिकली ये जो ऑक्सीडाइज्ड वाला वन इज रिड्यूस्ड एंड अदर वन इज ऑक्सीडाइज्ड. सो नाउ व्हाट हैपन्स एज इट बिकम्स ऑक्सीडाइज्ड and S dash it becomes reduced. So what is that called as oxidoreductase. The second one is transferases. Those enzymes which catalyze a transfer of a group. एक group है, कोई भी functional group है, but that group is not the hydrogen. So other than the hydrogen between a pair of substrate S and S. यानी कि there is a transfer of a functional group between the two substrate. से फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक सबस्ट्रेट के साथ फंक्शनल ग्रुप G है, दूसरे सबस्ट्रेट के साथ कोई भी फंक्शनल ग्रुप नहीं है S डैश. नाउ आफ्टर द एंजाइमेटिक रिएक्शन what is the condition? Now S is without the functional group and S dash is having the functional group, that is S dash G. So if there is a transfer of functional group between the two substrate, but that functional group is a group other than the hydrogen, then it is called as the transferase. Now the next one is the hydrolases. The enzymes catalyzing the hydrolysis. Lysis. Hydro means water and lysis means breakdown. So कोई भी एंजाइम जब एक पर्टिकुलर सबस्ट्रेट को ब्रेक करते हैं इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ वाटर मॉलिक्यूल, देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज हाइड्रोलाइसिस. सो एंजाइम्स कैटेलाइजिंग द हाइड्रोलाइसिस ऑफ ईथर, एस्टर, पेप्टाइड, ग्लाइकोसिडिक, सी हेलाइड और पी एन बॉन्ड्स आर कॉल्ड एज हाइड्रोलाइसिस. यानी कोई भी सब्सटेंस को ब्रेक करती है इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ द वाटर. The next one is the lyases. The enzymes that catalyze the removal of the groups from the substrate by mechanisms other than the hydrolyzing, leaving the double bonds. क्या कर hydrolysis and lyases. Lyases यानी तोड़ना. Hydrolysis is also breakdown. Hydrolysis में breakdown किसके presence में होता है? Water के presence में. Whereas lyase they remove or they break the substrate or they break removal of the group from the substrate by any other mechanism except the hydrolysis. हाइड्रोलाइसिस के अलावा कोई भी वे से अगर सबस्ट्रेट का ब्रेकडाउन होता है and the breakdown of the substrate results in the formation of a compounds having the double bond, then that is called as the lyases. आइसोमरेसिस यानी क्या करते हैं? देर विल बी द चेंज इन द स्ट्रक्चर. मॉलिक्यूल्स में अंदर ही अंदर ट्रांसफ़र होता है. इंक्लूड्स ऑल द एंजाइम्स कैटेलाइजिंग द इंटर कन्वर्जन ऑफ ऑप्टिकल, जियोमेट्रिक और पोजिशनल आइसोमर्स. एंड लाइगेसिस, लाइगेस यानी ज्वाइन करना, लाइगेट करना यानी ज्वाइन करना. सो ऐसे एंजाइम जो दो सबस्ट्रेट को ज्वाइन करके प्रोडक्ट्स बनाते हैं, दे आर कॉल्ड एज लाइगेसिस. So enzymes catalyzing the linking together of two compounds. Example, enzymes which catalyzes the joining of CO, CS, CN, PO, etc. bonds. From this table it will be more clear to you students. See students, this is the name of the enzyme. This is the way of the reactions they carry out. कैसे reaction करते हैं? An example, oxidoreductase. That is, they are the enzymes which carry out oxidation and redox reactions or also called as redox reaction. अगर A reduced है and B oxidized है, तो after enzymatic reaction A will become oxidized and B will become reduced. Example, dehydrogenase. Transferase. Transfer of group of atoms from one molecule to another. Say one is AB and another one is C. So AB compound is binding to C. What is happening now? B is separated from AB and it is attached with C. So what is happened? A is left and what is formed? A new product, that is C and B. Initially B was bounded with A and C was separate. Now what is happened? Now B has bounded with C and A is separate. Examples are transaminase and phosphotransferase. Hydrolases. They bring about the hydrolysis of substrate by addition of a water molecule. Say for example, this is a substrate AB. उसके साथ कौन रिएक्ट करता है? वाटर मॉलिक्यूल. वाटर मॉलिक्यूल में कैसे स्प्लिट होगा? वन इज H एंड अनदर वन इज OH. one of gets attached to A and another one will get attached to B. So ये ब्रेक हो गया. ए बी पहले ए बी साथ में थे, अभी ए और बी क्या हो गए, सेपरेट हो गए. किसके प्रेजेंस में, वाटर के प्रेजेंस में. ऑल द डाइजेस्टिव एंजाइम्स आर हाइड्रोलाइसिस टाइप. Then isomerase. They control the conversion of one isomer into another by transferring a group of atom from one molecule to another. See A B C पोजीशन क्या थी, A B C, अभी ये चेंज हो गई और क्या हो गया, ACB. That is called as the isomer. Those which brings about the isomerization reactions are called as isomerase. Lyase. They break the chemical bond without the addition of water. यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे भी ब्रेक हुआ A और B, लेकिन with addition of water. यहाँ पे भी A और B ब्रेक हुआ but without addition of water. Example is decarboxylase. Ligase. A formation of new bond using ATP as a source of energy. So binding of a different substrate to form the products with ATP being used as a source of energy. The example is DNA ligase. So these are the different types of the enzymes and the mode of action and the type of chemical reactions they catalyze. Now lastly, let us begin with the cofactors. Enzymes are composed of one or several polypeptide chains. What is the chemical nature of enzyme? Mainly they are proteins. So they may contain one polypeptide chain or it may also contain more than one polypeptide chain. However, there are number of cases in which non-protein constituents called cofactors are bound to the enzyme to make the enzyme catalytically active. Now there are many enzymes के जिसमें along with the protein a non-protein constituent is present or it is bound to the enzyme. So that non-protein component अगर नहीं होगा तो enzyme catalytically active नहीं होगी, यानी enzyme अपना reaction नहीं कर पाएगी. So there are enzymes which have a non-protein component along with the protein component. So a protein component plus a non-protein component, right? There are two components, a protein component and a non-protein component. A protein component is called as the apoenzyme and the non-protein component is called as the cofactor. Listen very carefully, there are certain enzymes. एंजाइम्स का केमिकल नेचर प्रोटीन है, बट देर आर मेनी एंजाइम्स in which along with the protein part of the enzyme a non-protein component is required for enzyme to become catalytically active. अगर ये non-protein component नहीं होगा तो enzyme अपना reaction नहीं कर पाएंगे. So in such enzymes के जहाँ पे non-protein component present है, in them the protein component is called apoenzyme, non-protein component is called cofactor and such enzymes के ये दोनों साथ में होते हैं, they are called as the haloenzymes. So protein component along with the non-protein part of the enzyme, or you can say apoenzyme and cofactor together is called as the haloenzyme. In these instances, the protein portion of the enzyme is called apoenzyme and non-protein component is called cofactor. Now ये जो cofactors होते हैं, they are of three types: prosthetic group, then the coenzymes, and another one is the metal ions. So first of all, prosthetic groups. Prosthetic groups are the organic compounds and are distinguished from other cofactors in that they are tightly bound to the apoenzyme. Now prosthetic groups are the organic cofactors. Prosthetic groups are the organic cofactor. Now how can we differentiate prosthetic group from the other cofactors? Cofactors से कितने types है? Three types. One is prosthetic group, another one is coenzyme and another one is the metal ions. So इसमें से prosthetic group का chemical nature क्या है? They are organic compound. And how can we differentiate it from the other cofactors? So the main thing is the prosthetic group, it is tightly bound or tightly attached to the apoenzyme, that is protein part of the enzyme. The prosthetic group, it is tightly bound to the apoenzyme, which is the protein part of the enzyme. For example, in peroxidase and catalase, which catalyze the breakdown of hydrogen peroxide to water and oxygen, heme is the prosthetic group and it is the part of the active site of the enzyme. Example, what are prosthetic groups? They are the organic compounds which are tightly bound to the apoenzyme. एक एग्जाम्पल दिया है, एग्जाम्पल इज पेरोक्सीडेज एंड कैटेलेज. ये दो एंजाइम है, वो क्या करता है, हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड को ब्रेक करता है वाटर एंड ऑक्सीजन में. अभी ये पेरोक्सीडेज एंड कैटेलेज में जो प्रोस्थेटिक ग्रुप है या नॉन प्रोटीन कंपोनेंट है वो कौन सा है, हीम है. For these enzymes, the non-protein component is heme, and this heme is tightly bound to the active site, or heme is a component of the active site of these enzymes. Right? Now, next one is coenzymes. Coenzymes are also organic compound. Okay, coenzymes भी क्या है, organic compound. Prosthetic group भी क्या है, organic compound. Coenzymes कैसे है कि they are tightly bound with the enzyme, whereas जो coenzymes है वो कैसे है, they are also organic compound but they are not continuously bound to the apoenzyme. वो सिर्फ जब वो रिएक्शन होने वाला है तभी, जब एंजाइमेटिक रिएक्शन होने वाला है यही टाइम पे कोएंजाइम एपोएंजाइम के साथ अटैच होगा. जबकि प्रोस्थेटिक ग्रुप्स दे आर ऑलवेज अटैच विद द एपोएंजाइम, whereas the coenzymes they are attached only at the time of the reaction. So coenzymes are also organic compounds but their association with apoenzyme is only transient. Transient यानी momentarily है, usually during the course of catalysis. यानी जब रिएक्शन होने वाला है तभी कोएंजाइम एपोएंजाइम के साथ ज्वाइन होगा. Otherwise the coenzyme is free from the apoenzyme, whereas prosthetic group is always attached to the apoenzyme. Furthermore, coenzymes serve as cofactors in number of enzyme catalyzed reaction. Coenzymes, it is the main cofactor for most of the enzymatic reactions. The essential chemical component of many coenzymes are vitamins. Many coenzymes have vitamins as their chemical component. There are many coenzymes which have the vitamins as their component. Example, coenzyme nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NAD and NADP, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. ये दो क्या है, कोएंजाइम है. ये दोनों कोएंजाइम में एक विटामिन प्रेजेंट है and the name of the vitamin is the niacin. A number of enzymes require metal ions for their activity, which form the coordination bonds with the side chains of the active site and at the same time form one or more coordination bond with the substrate. So, third type of the cofactor is the metallic ions. So, how metallic ions are bound with the enzyme? So, metallic ions, they bind with the side chains of the active site of the enzyme with the help of the coordination bond. The metal ions, they form the coordination bond with the side chain of the active site. Along with that, they also form the coordination bond with the substrate. यानी metal ion substrate के साथ भी react होगा and this metal ion also react with the active site of the enzyme. and ये जो bond होता है उनके बीच में that bond is called as the coordination bond. The metal ions, they bind to the active site of the enzyme by coordination bond, and they also form two or more or one or two coordination bonds with the substrate also. Example, zinc is the cofactor for the proteolytic enzyme carboxypeptidase. Catalytic activity is lost when cofactor is removed from the enzyme, which testifies that they play the crucial role in the catalytic activity of the enzyme. Now, if we know that there are many enzymes के जिसमें cofactors की requirement है. Suppose we remove the cofactor, whether that cofactor is prosthetic group, coenzyme or metallic ion. अगर कोई एंजाइम को कोफैक्टर की रिक्वायरमेंट है एंड अगर we remove that cofactor from the enzyme, then there won't be any enzymatic activity. If we remove the cofactor from the enzyme which requires it, then the enzymatic activity won't be there. From this we can understand the role of the cofactors. An enzyme consisting of an apoenzyme, that is called as the protein part of the enzyme, and a cofactor, that is a non-protein part of the enzyme. Then such enzyme is called as the holoenzyme. So what is holoenzyme? The enzyme consisting of an apoenzyme and a cofactor is called as the holoenzyme. So here we end our chapter. We have studied regarding the enzymes. So students, in this chapter we have studied regarding the various biomolecules like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. We have studied also in detail regarding the enzymes. Along with that, we have studied the primary and secondary metabolites, and we have also studied the metabolism. So I end my lecture here. In the next video, we will begin with the new chapter, that is cell division. Thank you, students.